Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I say the podcast because I don't know what I want to name it yet, and I don't know if I'm just gonna do me and me, or if I'm gonna do a separate channel for when me and Sophie do our podcast. But just welcome to the chit chats. Let's just say that. Wow, I have to squint so much. Should I get sunglasses? Pause. Hi, and welcome back to the Chit Chat Podcast. I don't know if that's actually going to be the name, but that's kind of what I want to do here is just chit chat, sit back, relax, talk about life and things that have helped me, understandings that have helped me navigate life a little bit easier, because I feel like as we grow up, it's you realize how many layers there are to this world, and you can really get overwhelmed and wrapped up in all of that. But if you're able to just look at things and be like, look, this is the way that this is. I can either try and change it, or I can realize that this is this circumstances and I should react A, B, C, D, you know? And I guess I should be more specific, but we'll get into that. One of the things that I had to learn is that you can't change people, everybody comes from different backgrounds and different stories and different upbringings, and everybody thinks differently. You're never going to be able to read somebody else's thoughts, so you're never going to be able to change those thoughts, So every time that I would get in a relationship, I would be dating their potential. I'd be like, oh yeah, you got some good bones, and I can make you into the man that I want you to be. Ladies, that's not how you should ever treat a man. You should respect your men, and if they're not the personality that you respect, then they're not your man. Sorry, but that's the way that it is. So if you need to break up with your boyfriend, go break up with him right now, because he's holding you back and you're not going to grow from it. If you are waiting to build them up to the person that you want them to be before you can continue to evolve, they're not your person. And I had to learn that one, and it was really, really hard to learn, and I kept on having lower level boyfriend, and I hate to say levels and that people are on different levels, but it's true. That really is the way that it is. There are people that are coherent to the level of understanding that you are at, and then there's people that are just not, and that's okay. That's not to say that they won't get there one day, but they're just not in that season of their life yet, so yeah, I kept on having potential boyfriend after potential boyfriend, and I'd be so frustrated, and I'd be like, why aren't you the person that I assume that you can be? And it's well, they haven't shown me that they are that person, so why would I even assume that in the first place? That don't make no fucking sense. So, it took me a while to figure that out, 6 months, and then it got 2 months, 1 month, and I started to figure it out. Because the more time that you spend with somebody, the more you're going to see all of their true characteristics. Another thing that I had to learn was the 3-month rule. The 3-month rule is basically, you can put on a facade and oh yeah, I got my shit together. Oh yeah, I'm this put together person. Totally. That's so bullshit. Everybody goes through life. Everybody has the things that complicate their life. Your life is never all put together all at once. And if you think that it is, you're absolutely kidding yourself. But anyways, the 3-month rule is, somebody can't hide who they are for longer than 3 months. So, how they say the honeymoon phase is it's, oh, he's my Prince Charming, my knight in armor. And then 2 months later, they start acting totally different. Not getting the flowers anymore. What the fuck's up with that? I'm just kidding. But you don't go on dates as much anymore, and you're not being pursued as much, I really feel like. And they're not trying to be this awesome person. Because I feel like when you do have the right partner, you're constantly pushing each other to be your best version of yourself. And not putting down, but just oh, you want to accomplish this? I believe in you. Prioritize the time for that. do what you need to do, babe. Period. But yeah, I would date these people, and around the 3 month mark, well, really by the 2 month mark, because I'd spend a lot of time with them. But I'd be like, "Who are you?" Because you're not the first person that I talked to. Like that person I was obsessed with. Whoever you are now is a lazy piece of shit bum. That's the kind of men that I went for, apparently. But not pieces of shit. They were nice people, but just not at my level. And that's the best way that I can put it and the nicest way that I'll put it, because I do all my ex-boyfriends, but not like, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't want to spread hate or put out hate that is not necessary. I try to not hate anybody, but slow people on the highway, or you know what really gets me is when, like, all right, so like, left lane, right lane, and they're going like this. Like, not like this, not like this, like this. And it's like, why are you going the same fucking speed? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to get around you? Because I don't understand why you're doing 60 in the fucking left lane. The speed limit is 70. So why are we doing 60? Hello? It's me. I was wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Welcome back from the break. I'm really obsessed with my new mic, but I feel like I can play so many games with like the audio, and I don't want to fuck it up, but I might. Anyways, back to our regular scheduled program. I feel like we've hit a lot of good points already, and we're only like 5 minutes in, so yay. Maybe I should like talk and stuff about more depth. But this is one of my tattoos, and I don't feel like you can see it that well. But it says, "Feel it, acknowledge it, let it go." Let it the fuck go. So when I say like understanding things, that's what I mean. Is like to like understand a situation, or like how something is happening. I don't know. I need to like talk about a specific situation. Basically, when you're sad, as somebody that struggles with depression, I feel like I'm way more healed than high school me, but sometimes it comes in waves, and it just is like, hey, let's see if I can make Brooke a little bit sad today. And it's like sometimes it works and it'll like ruin my whole day, but other times I like start feeling down and I start feeling like sad, and not for any particular reason, but just because I don't know, life. Like literally there doesn't have to be a reason, but I start feeling a little down, and I'm like, okay, this is feeling down. We've done this before. We have a toolbox of things that we can do to change my perspective and change the way that I'm looking at this. You can feel it for a second. You don't have to rush this feeling away. And then you acknowledge that it's that sad feeling. So then you go to your toolbox and you're like, okay, do I want to do some arts and crafts? Do I want to go on a little walk? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to listen to a podcast? Do I need to listen to a song? Do I need to dance it out? I love a good dance it out, dude. Like EDM music, if you find the right song, you can just go fucking crazy, dude, for like 2 minutes, and then afterwards, I swear, whatever negative energy that was in your body is gone. There is literally no room for it because you shaked it all out. So that's one of my favorite tools to use that I don't like think of all the time, but when the song comes on, I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I needed to like get me out of my funk. And it's okay to get sad. It's okay to be in funks. That is like something that I struggle with, is I will just be like, ugh, but I'm doing so good right now. Like, why does this have to happen right now? And it's like, this has to happen because this is a part of life. Like, it's not always going to be one way, and it's not always going to be your way. Like, outside situations are going to come in and throw you off course, and it's up to you and your character to determine, are you going to stay where you are? Are you going to let it affect you? Or are you going to bounce back? Like, how do you want to react to this outcome? Oh my God, this is one of my favorite things that I have ever learned. Listen up. You are your reaction. You are your reaction. And I know that doesn't sound like some Pinterest, ooh, look at this quote that I found, but you're not what happens to you. You're not what shitty situations happen to you or what good situations happen to you. You're how you react to everything in your life. If you stub your toe and you say, "Aw, shit," you probably like 80% of the population because I hate stubbing my toe. But if you get in a little fender bender and your immediate reaction is to panic and freak out, then you're putting yourself through more stress than it already is the stress of hitting something. If you've already gone through something like that, you can easily be aware of your reaction and be like, okay, let me take a deep breath. I have insurance. I bet whoever hit me or I hit them has insurance. We'll call who we need to call. We'll get it settled how we need to get it settled. It's going to cost me a few bucks. I can guarantee you that. But I'm alive still. I didn't get in a horrible car accident where I died. So I'm going to focus on that. And that's the reaction that I choose to have towards life now instead of freaking out. Because when I got in my first accident, I bawled crying. I was freaking out. My freaking bumper was in the middle of an intersection, dude. As a probably 17-year-old, I was freaking out, dude. But now I've been in that situation and I know how things are supposed to be handled. That's what my mom was saying is like, honey, we have insurance. Like, there's a reason we have insurance is in case something like this happens, life happens. It's okay. You just have to learn from it. So that is kind of like an extreme scenario. But like, say you're talking to a guy and, you want to be really interested in this guy and you want to, have somebody to talk to. But if they're not being a worthy guy to talk to, well, then don't waste your time, honey boo. Like, it's okay. That's something that I've learned recently is like, I would be talking to these guys and then I would be like, okay, I'm really the only one starting conversation. Am I the only one with a personality here? Like, come on, honey. And so then I would just like leave them on open or just send a blank snap back. And then all they're doing is doing the exact same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm bored. Bye. Like, my time is worthy, honey. I'm sorry, but you gotta entertain me if you're gonna get this kind of entertainment. Oh my god, I saw a TikTok and it was I think it was Liza Koshy and then that other female comedian that's hilarious that's dating somebody really old. I don't know her name. I think it's Amanda. But she was like, "Are you splitting the date?" And she was like, "Absolutely not. I'm the entertainment. I'm the show. Like, you paid for my service of entertainment because I got all the personality." And I was just like, couldn't agree more, honey boo. Um, Anyways, that was a long side tangent. Feel it is the first part. And then you gotta acknowledge it. And that's when you get your toolbox and you're like, how can I fix this? And then once whatever feeling has kind of been examined and you've microscoped it as much as you can as an overthinker, like I analyze my thoughts so much. But once you get a good understanding of it, that's when you're just like, okay, letting it go. And my favorite thing right now is just to be like, God's will, God's plan. Like, I trust you. I can't see the future and I never will be able to, but you see the future and you have a plan for me. So I trust that this is part of your plan. And whether it be character development or learning a life lesson or, changing the direction, like what if what I was trying to pursue was actually going to leave me totally off course? And his rejection is redirection. That's another one that I love. That one you can put on a Pinterest board. But yeah, feel it, acknowledge it, let it go. It's hard to learn, and there's so many different situations in life that will happen and you're like, oh, this is going to be a really good time to practice it. But it's practice. Like, it takes the work to put it in, and once you do, with each thing that you kind of say, okay, like, I'm not gonna give this power over me like it used to. Like, that's what I had to say a lot this last year. It was like, I'm not going to let this have power over me. People with negative energy, I'm sorry, but I work with a lot of them and they have this aroma where it's just like dark and dungy and I hate the world, and that is not me. I am sunshine, butterflies, and rainbows. If you didn't know, that is my whole personality, and being loud, but I feel like that kind of just comes hand in hand. So I would get consumed with their not I wouldn't get consumed with their negative energy, but I definitely can read a room when I like enter one. So I would like, you know, come into work being like hee hee hee, and then I see everybody else and they're like, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know how to act now. Like, do I need to like settle down because of you, Mr. Grumpy? And that's what I did do for a long time. But then I became grumpy and I was like, well, this isn't me. I don't like this. So I was just like, I don't claim your energy. Like, you're allowed to be how you are, and I'm allowed to be how I am, and I'm gonna just vibe with it. That was one of my hums from the other day, and it turned in to a full-blown concert in my kitchen. I don't know if it was from a song or like a song just came in my head, but it was like da da na 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 ooh ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna do it again because it took a lot of energy for it to like sound good, but you know what I'm saying. Party all night. What are you doing? Asking mama stuff flowers. So I'm putting these outside because they're supposed to face the sun. So I wonder if they're all gonna face up. But if you don't do this, or if you don't have somebody in your life that does do this for you, I would suggest buying flowers because they're like my favorite ever. I love sunflowers personally, but whatever you like, get what you want, girly. Why? Because they're beautiful and because they remind you of how much time you have. Because flowers are only gonna last you like a week or two if you're good with putting the food in them and separating it up and whatnot. But I am not that gal, so they're good for like a week. And I feel like makes you aware of the time that you have. Like that was my thing this year, was being so aware of the time that I had, because I feel like we get to the end of the year and it's like, yeah, we did stuff with our year, but how much stuff did we do that we wanted to do? And I bet you it's not as much as you wanted it to be. Because that's what I always ran into, is that like, yeah, I did stuff, but it's like I could have done a lot more if I prioritized what I wanted. So I didn't want to live another year in regret. So I've really planned out this year. And I went to Boston in January and saw one of my cousins and went snowboarding and then saw all my other relatives. And then we did like a fun activity every day. And it was just a lot of good bonding time and amazing. Like I loved that trip. That was my first solo trip. That was my first time leaving my state and going up to Boston. Like I've never been up to that side of the state. Went through the airport all by myself. Slayed that shit. And then I went to Vegas in February with my parents, and that was like for fun. Like yes, but also I saw Tony Robbins and Mel Robbins speak live, and Mel Robbins, I've been listening to her Mel Robbins podcast, and I've loved her little tidbits and what she has to say. And then right before we were gonna go, like I knew who Tony Robbins was, but I didn't like remember who exactly he was. And then I saw a TikTok of him, and he was saying some really motivational shit, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to go see him. They did say some really motivational shit. Tony's kind of whole thing is like, move your body, like move your space, move your energy if it's not serving you the way that you want it to. And that's put down in very simple forms. Like I listened to him for 3 hours, but change your environment if it's not serving you, basically, is like the gist that I got from it. And then I'll look at my notes and I'll do a whole podcast on what they had to say, maybe, because I don't want to like steal their stuff. But anyways, that was in February, and then in March we went to Arizona. We were like the end of February to the beginning of March, and we went to Arizona and we went and saw the Grand Canyon and we went snowboarding again, and that was a really good trip with my family and just like one-on-one bonding time. I moved out last year and I haven't spent a week with them in who knows how long, so that was interesting to see, how we all get along, and I'm definitely the mediator of my family, um, and they would totally agree. So, but sometimes I can be a bratty teenager. So, I'm not a teenager anymore, though. I can't say that. Aww. I guess that's why I'm not as bratty of a teenager, but I'm still bratty when I need to be. Um, but anyways, so I did that, and then April is this month, and I am going an hour away to go skydiving. I'm going skydiving on Friday, guys. That's so exciting. I was worried because they have like a no being sick rule, and I was just sick the past 2 days, and they have a 72-hour cancellation policy, and I signed up within 72 hours, so I was like, hope I feel better. Newsflash, I'm feeling better. So I'm super excited for that, and it's not like travel out of the state, but it's like I've wanted to skydive. I've wanted to skydive for the past 3 years, and for the past 2 years, I've been like, all right, girl, when are we gonna get it done? So I took this weekend off to prioritize me time, I guess, and so I'm gonna go skydiving on Friday, and then I'm gonna go golfing with my dad on Saturday. And one of my other things to be intentional is have an activity, and my activity is golfing. So canceling 2 off this week, and then there's one other thing. Oh, and a new skill. Well, I guess it's gonna be going jet skiing, even though I know how to do that. I'm gonna go jet skiing this weekend too, so super exciting. Um, and you have so much more to talk about when you do stuff. It's crazy how that works. And with each new experience that you have, I feel like you do learn something small or big. And so I just feel like by doing more, I've also had a lot of growth with just like situational stuff. And like, when you plan an activity, everything's not going to go exactly how you want it to, but it's how you react and how you can adapt to situations that makes them smooth. Or, oh my God, guess what happened when we went and did blah, blah, blah. Like, ugh, listen, I know I'm literally doing a podcast, but gossiping and like, I don't know, just like speaking sass out into the world, I feel like it's just like putting negative energy out into the world. And like, don't get me wrong, like, I love a good gossip, but it's also like, don't talk down on people, don't talk down on the situation. It taught you what it needed to teach you. So shut the fuck up. Sorry, I feel like that was very aggressive, but it's how I feel. And so, what else? I feel like that's good for today. I feel like that was a lot of good tidbits for you. So, I hope you learned something, and if you didn't learn something, at least just like remembered that you do know this knowledge, because you are one smart individual, girly. Like, you've gone through everything that you've gone through. Like, you have made it through every hard season of your life and every good season of your life. So just remember, when it is getting hard, that it will pass. This too shall pass, and you'll make it right on through it. And the sooner that you go through it, the sooner you will be on the other side of it, and you'll be able to look back on the situation and be like, that's why I had to go through that, so that I could learn XYZ. And I know that you're strong, and I know that you're beautifully and wonderfully made, and I'm so proud of the person that you are. Love ya.